Hey guys, how you going? I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another video. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas and a New Year's. I haven't seen you since then. And if you're new here and you've never met me before, hello, my name is Lucy. I'm a qualified personal trainer. I'm a calisthenics enthusiast and also I lost 30 kilos myself. So I have gone from being confused and not having a clue about exercise and nutrition to making it my job to help other women be able to live a balanced and healthy lifestyle and achieve whatever their goals are as well. So somehow we've arrived at January. I don't know how that happened, but as we all know, January is fitness month traditionally. People are super motivated, we're ready to get going, we're setting New Year's resolutions and goals, and we just want to jumpstart our fitness journey. And that's amazing. I know that I used to be like that as well, but I thought this was going to be a fantastic opportunity for me to really share with you guys the tools and the knowledge that you need to be able to achieve your goals in the future. So if you guys have followed me for a while, you'll know that I'm super passionate about really giving you the tools to create a balanced and healthy lifestyle, which you can work towards your goals in, but you can enjoy along the way as well. And that's something that I know has come from my experiences through weight loss and then becoming a trainer. So to do that, I think it's really important that people understand the principles of exercise and nutrition. There is so much information out there regarding nutrition, different types of diets, calories. It's super confusing and I totally get that. And then on the flip side, it's about what exercise you should do, how often you should train, what's going to be best for your goals, and it just becomes super confusing. So for me, what's really important is making it super easy to understand. So then once you understand the principles and you're educated in that, it becomes a lot less daunting, a lot less scary, and a heck of a lot easier to become consistent, motivated, and actually enjoy the process. So that's my intention for the next month's worth of videos. I am super passionate about making fitness and health a lot less confusing and giving you the tools for you to make informed decisions towards whatever your goals might be. So I'm going to be uploading videos every single day. It will be either a workout video, a challenge video, or it will be a video like this, which is about theory, either nutrition, exercise, or mindset. And by the end of this month, you should come out feeling a lot more confident about making decisions, being able to understand what other people are talking about if they're rattling off different types of diets or calorie terms and all that sort of stuff, and be able to see it for what it is, which is actually a lot easier than it appears. Ultimately, with these tools, you'll be able to create a lifestyle that you love and that will get you towards where you want to be. And I promise you, it's not as hard as it seems. So let's go. Okay, so to kickstart, obviously you need to create goals. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be discussing how to set goals, what your expectations should be, and also how to track your progress along the way. So let's start with goals. It's New Year's, you probably already have set some goals. So what really is a goal? Well, a goal is kind of like the end result, what we want to achieve in the long term. And it's fantastic to set goals, and I think it's really important to set specific goals as well, so having a good idea of exactly what you want to do. So let's say, for example, you want to lose weight, then you might have a specific number or a certain feeling or memory that you have of being a certain weight, or it might be a clothing size, or there's something more specific than just saying weight loss. And alternatively, if you wanted to get fit and that was your goal, then what does that look like to you? What does that mean? I think it's good to set specific markers and milestones, such as I want to be able to run 5 kilometers, or I want to be able to walk up the stairs and not feel out of breath. Now, something that I was told when I lost weight was to write your goals down, and I was like, don't need to write them down, it's fine. But I actually realized the value of physically writing them down on a piece of paper or on your phone or somewhere, just to keep you accountable. It doesn't even mean you have to refer back to it necessarily, but just the act of actually writing your goal down feels really good. So once you've decided what your goals are, make a note of them, write them down, and then from there, we're gonna work on how you actually get towards your goals. Because like I said, the goal is the end result, but that doesn't really tell us how we're gonna get there or what we need to do to achieve that goal. To actually achieve the goal, what we want to do is form habits and create behaviors that are going to help us easily get towards that. So I'm gonna use an example because it's gonna be the easiest way for me to explain. But if your goal was weight loss, for example, you know that you need to be in a calorie deficit. And don't worry, we're going to cover all this in the next coming weeks. But you need to have less calories coming in per day than your body is burning. So you need to create a calorie deficit. Now, this is usually done through nutrition. That's the easiest and quickest way of doing it. So you're going to be eating less Now this looks different for everybody, and again, we're going to go into this in future videos, so don't stress too much, but I'm actually going to use the example of a client that I had. Now she needed to reduce how much she was eating to be in a calorie deficit, and we identified that something that she commonly did was go back for second servings of her food when she didn't really feel like she needed it. But it was such an ingrained habit that she almost did it subconsciously and didn't realize, and she wasn't sure how to break that habit. So now we'd identified that what we wanted to do was create a habit of just having one portion and knowing that that's enough food. So we need to create the environment to make that habit possible. So we came up with different solutions as to how we could make this happen. So for example, one was that she would only cook enough food for one portion because that's all she needed. Or it was as soon as she served up her food, she would pack away whatever was left over for another day's meal. Another one was that she would clean away her dishes after she'd eaten her first portion to give her a little bit of time to decide if she really was hungry, and then she could maybe either have a second portion if she was, or she would feel like she could pack it away. So in doing all these different things, what we were doing was creating an environment that would make this new habit a lot easier to happen. Through doing this, she naturally stopped having second portions as much, and then obviously reduced her calories overall, and that helped in creating a calorie deficit and also helped towards her weight loss. Now these little environmental changes are just small little things that you can change throughout the day, which you don't really notice, and they actually build up and compound over time to make a much bigger change. And this is something that's really important when we're thinking of goals and even thinking about weight loss and health, is the concept of having a long-term mindset. And we'll touch on this again in a minute about expectations, but what I want you to focus on is creating a lifestyle change. Take it from me and my experiences, there are no quick fixes, and if there is anything that's quick and it's working, it probably won't last, and trust me, it's not going to be enjoyable. Whereas if you think about it long term and try to focus on the bigger picture, you can actually make an enjoyable process along the way. So when you're thinking about your goals, what you want to do is have your main overarching goal and maybe some smaller goals that you want to achieve as well, and try to be specific with them. Ask yourself, why do you want these things? Why is it important? Really dig deep and understand what's motivating you to achieve these goals, and write that down as well. And then once you have that, you want to break those down into habits that you can form, which are going to help you achieve that goal. And then from there, you want to look at how you can change your environment to make those habits as easy as possible. So while having goals is fantastic and it gives you something to work towards for the long term, there is also this mindset of all or nothing. You either achieve your goals or you fail. And it's when people think that they failed and they haven't achieved their goals that they tend to just give up and walk away. Whereas if we focus on the small term things, creating new habits, building an environment that's fostering what we want to achieve, then it becomes a lot easier to enjoy the process along the way, therefore creating a lifestyle that you love. So I really want you to have a think about what your goals are, and more importantly, why that is your goal. So when I'm talking to a client in a consultation, I always ask them why. So I'll say, what's your overarching goal? I want to lose weight. How much weight do you want to lose? Or is there a specific marker you want to get to? And they might give it to me and I'll say, okay, so what's the reason why? And they're always taken aback by that question, because we're not expecting to hear that, because we're just so used to throwing out, I want to lose weight, I want to get fit, I want to get my driver's license, I want to buy a house, or whatever it might be. And we don't really think about why. So ask yourself, what is the reason? I remember when I was losing weight, I wanted to lose weight. I wasn't exactly sure how much, but I knew I just needed to get to a healthy size and a healthy weight. And my reason was partly because I was upset with the way I looked, and if you followed me for a little while, you'll know that I don't advocate for losing weight because it will make you happy. But anyway, that was how I felt at the time, and also for my health. And when I really thought about it, it was such a driver to getting me to where I am today. Because I'm going to be following this process along with you over the next month, I would love you guys to write your goals down below, and I want to know the reason why they're your goal as well. And everyone can support each other, everyone can get involved, and you have that accountability of having it written there and something that you can refer back to. So you can pause this video, have a think, write them down, maybe speak to your family or your partner or someone, then let me know what is your goal and why is that your goal. Right, now we've covered goals, we're going to talk about expectation, because this is a huge one. The key thing here is to be realistic with your expectations. What throws so many people off is having unrealistic expectations, not necessarily on purpose, that could be completely subconscious, but having unrealistic expectations, and then when they don't achieve it, which is inevitable, they just kind of think it's not working, they don't understand what the processes are behind it, and then they just throw in the towel. Because I've been there, I did that as well. So I guess a good question is, what is a realistic expectation? Again, this is a question that I always ask clients. If they say I want to lose 10 kilos, I ask them, what time frame do you expect to lose 10 kilos in? And it's a really interesting one to ask yourself. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong. It depends on loads of different factors and obviously what your goals are as well. But like we mentioned in the previous section, I think it's better to focus on the smaller things that you're achieving and also not have as many expectations, especially for the first 4 to 6 weeks of a weight loss or a fitness journey. The first 4 to 6 weeks can be the easiest time to quit because you're doing lots of different things, you're changing and trying really hard, and if you don't see results straight away, you just naturally feel like you're failing. And if you don't necessarily understand what's going on, it's so easy just to think, I'm wasting my time and I want to give up. And this is where people tend to want accountability, or they want someone to motivate them. And I think this is a really key and crucial time to not even worry about expectations, not even expect to lose weight or to be able to do a push-up or anything like that. Just enjoy what you're doing. Just think about what you are doing today and make all your little habits what I call the new teeth brushing. It's something that we do every single day. We know it's good for us. We know we have to do it. It's probably not the most enjoyable thing, but we just do it anyway. So create those habits, create those behaviors, and try not to even focus on the expectation of losing weight or getting fitter or noticing loads of progress straight away. You may see some, and that's fantastic, but you may also not see any. Fluctuations are completely normal and expected as well. I'm going to use myself as an example. When I started losing weight, I remember I didn't actually focus on any of the numbers. I didn't worry about seeing much progress at first either because I just was so committed. I was like, I know this is what I want. I know I need to change my health. And so it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to me. This is just what I do now. And I didn't really see any weight loss for the first 6 or 7 weeks. And then once I kind of hit that 7-week mark, it started to go quite quickly. And I remember at one point, every week I was nearly having to buy a new pair of jeans because my old ones didn't fit me quite right. So if I had indeed expected to see progress in the first month, I definitely would have thrown in the towel. But I was so focused on like the new teeth brushing and this just being my lifestyle now that all of that didn't matter. And ultimately, I'm glad that was the case because I probably would have given up right before all my hard work was about to pay off. If you did want a number to work towards, because I know some people just like numbers and having an idea and a goal in their mind, the general consensus is between 0.25 and 1 kilos per week of weight loss is a healthy and sustainable weight loss. Now that is quite a big range, and when you really think about it, I could weigh myself in the morning and I could weigh myself 3 hours later after having coffee and maybe water, and I probably would weigh 1 kilo more. So again, these fluctuations are completely normal, and we will go into weight on the scale a little bit later, but it's not super reliable. So expect the fluctuations and understand that if you are going to track those things and you're going to set yourself those expectations, that if you do see it going a way that you don't expect, it's not because you're failing, and that's totally okay. Weight loss is not linear, and I'm going to put up a couple of graphs up here of some clients I have and their weight loss, and you'll see that every week it fluctuates up and down, but when you zoom out over 6 months or 9 months, you can see that it comes down. It was the same for me because this is completely normal. I don't think I have ever seen a weight loss that is always down. Never ever happens. You were always going to get fluctuations in your weight. There's so many things that actually factor into your weight that it's almost impossible that it would always drop. So I suppose what I'm trying to say with this whole section is that I want you to avoid setting some really strict expectations from yourself and then inevitably not meeting them and throwing in the towel or just being down on yourself because you think it's not working. If you loosen the reins a little bit, relax a little bit, enjoy the process, and try not to focus on having expectations or trying to see too much progress in the first 4 to 6 weeks, it's going to become a lot lot easier and you'll enjoy the journey a lot more as well. Remember, we're in this for the long term. In my opinion, for this month, you should set the expectation that you're just gonna build new habits that are going to help you towards whatever your goal might be. And you're also going to stay as consistent as possible in learning new principles, exercising and moving your body a little bit, and just genuinely taking care of your health and understanding the different habits that you're forming. Right, and we are on to the last part of the video, which is how to track progress. So most people's immediate reaction, and we've touched on this already, is just to weigh yourself and to base your progress off your weight on the scale. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The problem comes when people set too much store on the weight on the scale. It is made up of so many different factors. It could be how hydrated you are, it could be muscle versus fat mass, it can be how tired you are, how much sleep you've had, how much you've eaten, if you've had a poo that day, etc. It goes on and on and on, and it fluctuates so much, like we mentioned, and you saw as well in there. So while it's important to probably weigh yourself just so you have some progress markers, there are also a load of other ways that you can measure your progress. So while most people immediately turn to weight, there are tons of other ways that you can track progress. And let's face it, it's not all about weight on the scale. In fact, I don't even weigh myself. I have no clue what I weigh, and I couldn't really care less. So we're gonna go through some of the other ways that you can track progress. And I think it's important to do as many as possible so you can see if you don't make progress in one area, that you may have actually made progress in another. And it's really easy to keep motivated that way. So the first one is progress photos. I love progress photos. Obviously, it can show you if you physically have changed in terms of your weight, but it can also show a lot more. It can show changes in your posture, in your body composition, and what I love to see in clients is when you can see the change in their facial expression. You see them standing up straighter and holding themselves better and feeling prouder of themselves and smiling and glowing. It makes such a big difference. Like, it actually gives me goosebumps thinking about it. But I have had clients in the past where they put their progress photos up and I've said, can you see a difference? Do you think anything in particular? And they'll go, I have such a happier face, or I look so much more happier. And I cannot agree more. It's super, super amazing to see these little differences because, like I said, it's not all about weight. It's not all about just looking different in that regard. It's about how you feel. It's about how confident you are, how you hold yourself, how happy you are throughout the day. So progress photos are fantastic. You can just take one on your camera, standing facing forward, to the side, one from the back, and it will show you everything that you need to see. I've mentioned this before. I know it can be really, really daunting to take progress photos at the beginning. I didn't want to do it. I was told, take them or you'll regret it, and I didn't take any. And I didn't take any for, I think, the first several weeks, I think maybe 4 weeks or something. And then I took some, and I regret it so much because when I started taking them, I started noticing it. And it's more so when I'm looking back now at them that I think, wow, I wish I'd taken them. At the time, I didn't really care too much, but it's cool to look back now and see the changes as you go through. So if you are daunted by it, I would really recommend taking them. You will not regret it in the future. You don't need to look at them, just take them, put it in a file away that you can't see on your computer or on your phone, and you never need to open them again. But trust me, one day you'll be grateful that you took them. The same goes for taking videos of your fitness progress. So again, I never really videoed any of my exercise when I was losing weight. I didn't really video too much when I was getting into calisthenics, but now I video a lot. Obviously, it's part of my job, but also I see a lot when I video my exercise, and I can see things I need to improve on. And also you can look back at videos that you took maybe 6 or 12 months ago, and you're like, wow, I've come so far. And again, when clients send me videos of their exercise so I can give them a bit of feedback, I always say to them, I know it might be daunting to take a video of yourself, but one day you'll look back at this and you'll go, I remember when I was training to my first push-up, and now I can do it and I feel amazing. And it was so good to look back and see that progress. So I know, again, it can be daunting, but taking videos or little clips of your exercise or you doing something or going for a walk or a hike, whatever it is, can be super beneficial. Next one is measurements. Another one that I'm a huge fan of. Physically getting a measuring tape, measuring certain measurements on your body, and then referring back to that in a month or so. So I usually do just waist, so around your belly button. You can do your bust. I would do maybe one thigh, one arm up here, your biceps somewhere, and also your hips. So with your hips, I do the widest part of my body. With my thigh, I tend to use my fingers. So I'll take 4 fingers from my knee, and then I will measure at that point. The same with my arm, I go 4 fingers from my elbow. Another way is that you can look for a scar or for a freckle or a mole that you might have, and you can measure around that spot. But doing this just gives you the most accurate measurements that you can when you're referring back to them. All right, another one is fitness testing. So really simple, it doesn't have to be confusing. I'm gonna put one up on the screen here. This is the little fitness test that I've taken from my ebook. It's super simple, and it's all you need. Do it before you start exercising or start a program. Do it at 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and 12 weeks, and you'll be able to see if you've improved. Just very simple things, and you can make your own up. You don't have to use this one, but this is a very simple way of measuring your progress over time without having to put a huge amount of effort in. How do your clothes fit? That's another one you can use. So if you have a pair of jeans, or you have something that's a little bit snug, or something that's a little bit big, and you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, you can use that to give you a pretty good marker of whether you're making any progress in that area. We know our bodies much better than we give ourselves credit for. And even I know whether I've changed in terms of my weight by my hands, you know, like my hands brushing past my hips, or just how I feel. So your clothes fitting you in a certain way is a fantastic marker of whether you're seeing progress or not. There's been plenty of times where I've had clients, and personally I have put weight on, but my clothes fit better. So I know that I'm not putting weight or fat on, it's actually just weight on the scale is increasing. The last one I'm going to mention is how do you feel and how is your mood changing? So this could be just making a note on your phone. There's plenty of apps, I'm sure, that you can track your mood or make a little journal of how your day has gone or how you feel that day. But tracking how your mood changes or how your motivation changes over time can be a fantastic way of looking at progress as well. So, you know, you'd like to see that you're more content, or you feel more confident, or you feel like you've achieved something as you go on. So you can track your mood and you can track how you feel. And again, this just gives you another way to track progress other than just looking at weight on the scale. One last point on tracking your progress: how often should you track? Again, there's no right or wrong. Some people drive themselves absolutely insane and track every single day. I, with my clients, prefer to just do once a month, and as a person, I have flipped between doing it daily, and now I track basically nothing. It really depends on what your goals are, it depends on your own mindset and how you feel about everything, but I would suggest around once a month is a good enough time to see progress, but without getting too hung up on constantly seeing it and maybe worrying about the fluctuations that you're going to see as well. So while it's important to have goals and also expectations, what I really want you to focus on this month is just letting go of those expectations and creating the habits that are going to help you towards your goals in the long term. We want to avoid the negative mindset that comes along with creating something that is just completely unsustainable and really will only last for a little while and won't be enjoyable. Instead, create the lifestyle that we really enjoy. Remember, we are looking for long-term lifestyle changes that we can maintain. So I hope this video has given you a bit of an understanding of why goals are important, why realistic expectations are important, but also focusing on the long-term mindset, creating habits to help you towards it, and how that potentially can make it a lot easier. And also not having too many expectations in the first month or two. Just letting go of all of that and focusing on just being and doing what you need to do to get you to where you want to be. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also press the little notification bell, as it helps me reach more people and be able to share this information. As somebody who's been in that position, I make it my job to make it a lot less confusing and a lot less stressful for everybody else. Also, if you know anybody who is looking to lose weight, get into health and fitness, or constantly yo-yoing and stressed about what they should do, then definitely send them a link to this video, whether it's your mother, your brother, your dad, your sister, your bestie, your aunt, your uncle, whoever it might be. Send it across, because this is a bit of a collaboration. I want to get as many people as possible involved, and I'm going to stop talking now. I will see you guys tomorrow for workout number 1. I hope you have an amazing evening.